You know what, guys? Over the years, as I've grown older and as I've grown wiser, I like to hope, understanding and deciding on what I want out of my life has become increasingly clear. Yes, I would like to have the finer things in life, this is true. But what to me matters a lot more than that is having decisive choice over what I do. At the moment, thankfully, because I run my own businesses and because I have, you know, a degree of financial discipline and personal ability, I have the ability to go where I want to anywhere in the world. I have the ability to meet who I want to meet. I have the ability to plan ahead as to what I'm looking for out of my life. And I don't make this point to brag or anything like that, but I make this point to explain to you guys how easy it is to gain this clarity when you understand one simple fact. Now, most people in life, and the biggest thing where most people spend all of their time in life is working. Working for businesses, other people's businesses, working on projects that isn't going to make them rich, and in a lot of cases won't make them fulfilled. Now, here's the thing about work. We're told all the time that a job is something that's good for your mental health, right? It's something where you will be rewarded financially, and it's something where you will achieve all of your dreams. Now, I've got a point and a rebuke or a rebuttal, I should say, for each one of those, which is simply this. You won't get rich working most jobs. Most people won't anyway, so that's not even true. It makes more sense if you're trying to get rich to run a business. Number two, a lot of people's mental health is worse for their job because they have bad managers, they understand that they can't afford their bills, and they waste all of their time. Now, when you put these points all together, right, when you understand all of these things, you understand one main thing. Most people spend most of their time, most of their entire life at work doing the same thing, oftentimes that they do not like. And I was having this conversation with somebody the other day, somebody of a similar age to myself. And the person said it seems that one of the main things, or one of the biggest things you care about in relation to me, is money. And this is an interesting thing because to a degree this is true. I do massively care and mostly care about my health. I care about my family and my friends around me. But if you had to take my health, my personal health, my family's health, my love and connections that I have in my life, somewhere on that list after that would be money. And people think that's because you're trying to buy flashy things to appeal to everybody else. Now, let me tell you one thing, guys. I am not in a flashy place right now. You can probably tell. This is not a flashy house. I don't have a flashy car. These are not the things which I work for. The things which I work for and the concept of why I'm trying to get money is something which, for some reason, a lot of people can't entirely understand. But if you can get your head around this, and if you can understand what I'm saying in this maybe 10-minute video, I'd like to hope it should change your perspective on a number of things. Running your own business, getting rich or financially free, is not necessarily about having a flash car, a nice house, or any of these things. It's about buying back your freedom. It's quite ironic because people think that the chase for money is something which takes away from your ability to do creative tasks or have fun. When I tell people that I'm a business owner, I think they assume that I do nothing but constantly work. The reality is far from that. I spend most of my time having fun. And ironically, I probably have more free time than the people who do a 9 to 5 who tell me that I'm wasting all my time because I work so much. I probably have more free time than them. In fact, I absolutely do. I work when I want, I film my videos when I want, I go to sleep when I want, wake up when I want. This is the luxury of running a business. And I'm not doing this again to flex. I'm not doing this to necessarily even have nice things. I'm trying to buy back my freedom because most people are not free. They don't make enough money to afford nice things. They're trapped forever doing something that they don't like. And here's the thing about when you're in this system, especially for a lot of people my generation, you're clever enough to do something with the internet or online to attempt to make money. You know, I've got a few ideas that I've told you about before: YouTube automation, eBay dropshipping, Amazon dropshipping. All of these are simple concepts which anyone can try. But if you don't try these things, then you can't even do anything, guys, because you're working all the time, right? You're probably not getting paid very much. Career progression most likely isn't there, and you're wasting all of your time. Because time that you don't enjoy in a life that is this finite, guys, time that you do not enjoy is wasted time. It's true. It is true. So the goal of getting money, the goal of, in my opinion, life as a whole, is not necessarily about buying flashy things. If you gave me 100 million right now, if you gave me 100 million, no consequences, I would have a Ferrari. I'm not going to act like I'm not a materialistic person in that way. A lot of people who will make a video like this will pretend that they are not materialistic. If you gave me 100 million, I would have a mansion and a Lamborghini and a Ferrari and all of these nice things like everybody else. But that is because I would then have freedom. But people don't understand, because people assume that you need Lambo money to be free. But you don't, guys. If you could probably make 1, 2, 3, 4,000 a month on the internet, you have a lot more options than somebody who probably makes 100k a year, right? But is in a job. Because think about it, if you're in this position, you have geographical freedom, so you can see a bit more of the world before your time expires, or even move to a cheaper area, saving you more money anyway, right? And most importantly, you gain a mental clarity which you never really get the time to do in the rat race. Now, I'm somebody who actually this time last year was working a job. And it was a massively eye-opening experience doing this, and especially now going back to running my own business, because it is hard. I'm not going to say it's not challenging, because you work this job, you don't like it, right? Especially if you're young or unskilled, you probably don't get paid very much, you waste all your time, you know it's a waste of time, you go and get some food on the weekend, it's worth 2 hours worth of working, and it's just like, it just doesn't work, guys. It just doesn't work for a lot of people. And I speak to people about this, and everybody seems to agree with me. They hate their job. But here's where the accountability comes into it, because I don't give you guys a topic without a solution. If I'm going to give you a topic to discuss, most of the time I have a solution or an answer. And I've got one for this. Because if you've watched a video up until this point so far, you'll probably think this is quite a doom and gloom topic. I've not got a solution, there's no answer, there's no way out. Well, this is the thing. People will tell me how much they hate their job, right? But they clearly don't hate it enough to dedicate 1 or 2 hours to building something new, right? Let me take this YouTube channel, for example. This is a perfect example. YouTube channels can make money, right? It is something that happens. People won't waste 1 hour of the day, though, trying something new on YouTube. People won't waste 1 or 2 hours a day doing some eBay selling, you know? People don't do these things. People won't do these things. But if you can just dedicate 1 or 2 hours extra a day, remember, if you're working a 9 to 5 for a lot of people, or a job that you hate, then you're wasting a lot of your time anyway. And if this works, guys, here's the thing. If this works like it's worked for me at the moment, I'm not saying this is a forever thing, but it's working for now. If this works, you get everything back. You get everything back. You choose how you live. And I made this video, or I made this point in a different video a bit earlier, which is right now, I do not have to see anybody that I do not want to see, because I have a car and I don't have a job, because I run my own businesses, right? Which means that I don't ever have to interact with anybody that I don't want to. If you work a job, you have co-workers that you don't like, you know, or you might do at least. If you're on public transport, you might meet rude people or dangerous people who you might not like to interact with for obvious reasons, right? At the moment, guys, I don't have to meet, interact with, deal with anyone who I don't want to interact with. Everyone who I interact with is either a friend, a loved one, someone who I might see as one of those things, you know. There's no negativity. And it goes also to the same thing of doing what you like. There is not a day, really, where I don't do anything that I like to do. Because maybe it's just the way that I've brainwashed myself. Maybe I'm just completely deluded, guys, you know. But I enjoy my work. I enjoy my work. This right now that I'm doing right now, talking to a camera in my bedroom, is work, right? I enjoy my work. My work is fun. I like it a lot. So never do I do something that I don't enjoy. And like I say, all of that free time. So next time that someone's talking about a business and you're thinking, well, I don't want to get rich, so it doesn't matter. I don't want to get rich. That's fine. The goal, guys, for you or for me or for anybody else is to get rich, of course, but that's a goal. That's a dream. But what I think to a degree is a more important necessity is gaining or regaining your own freedom.